This conference will now be recorded.
So this was our last class talking about this material master creation, and there are a few things what I was trying to basically explain, like how to go for creating a material by maintaining what all information is required for the sales. So this material master is going to be worked by different departments, like team is going to be working on it, sales team is going to be using it, PP department, finance department, like we have a costing department who will be maintaining the information related to the product costing. So different departments are going to be working with this material master for different functionalities. Okay, so we need to know this one. This particular point is very important. Different departments will be working with material master for different functionalities. And we are interested in creating a material by maintaining what all values which is required for sales point, for sales specific. So when you try to go for creating a material, we have a certain transaction codes, MM01, which is used for create mode, MM02 for change, and MM03 for display. These are the transaction codes to work out. MM01, MM02, MM03 are the transaction codes to work with this material master. And we have a report as well. So if you want to see what all materials has been created till now, we use a transaction code called as MM60. It's the T code used. See list of materials. What all materials has been created till now, we can get that information over here. MM60 is the transaction code for this. Okay. So please try to remember the transaction codes over here. And now, apart from this, what all things you need to know in our material master creation? So here we have different types of material to focus on. It's not that we are going to be working with only one type of material. So company will be having different types of materials to work out. So types of materials. We are going to be classifying our materials over here, where we are going to be classifying them as finished product, semi-finished product, raw materials, packaging products, returnable packaging products, spare parts, trading goods. How you're trying to basically classify our materials over here. Okay, that's how you are going to be classifying the materials. So you can classify the materials as a finished product, semi-finished product, raw materials, spare parts, trading goods, packaging material, returnable packaging material, like that. Okay, and when you're trying to work with this material types, so for each and every material type, there is going to be a code maintained. For each and every material type, there will be a code maintained. Now, always this finished product is going to be represented as FERT over here. For semi-finished product, HALB. For raw materials, ROH. For packaging product, BERP. For returnable packaging material, LEIH. For spare parts, ERSA. For trading goods, HAVA. These are going to be the codes maintained. So each and every material type is going to be represented by a code. Each and every material type is going to be represented by a code over here. Okay, so please try to remember the codes. And we are going to be working out with only few material types. We are not going to be working with all the material types over here. We never try to work out with this semi-finish and raw materials. We don't sell it. We're always going to be responsible for selling finished product only. We don't try to work out with these two materials. Apart from that, we try to work out with different material types. We try to work out with different material types over here. Okay. And when you try to go for creating a material, there are going to be 32 views. So total number of views is going to be 32. That means there are going to be 32 screens in which you are going to be maintaining the values. there are going to be 32 screens in which you are going to be maintaining the values. And right now, we're not going to be working with all the 32 views. This is going to be with reference to all the modules. It is going to be with reference to all the modules. But right now we are going to be focusing maintaining the values only in selected 7 views. Only in 7 views we are going to be maintaining the information which is required for the sales specific. We are not interested apart from sales. I'm trying to maintain the values only in 7 views at the moment. Later we try to increase some more views. Based on our LCFI integration or LCMM integration, there are going to be some more values which we are going to be maintaining it up in different views as well. Okay. Now, what all views in which you are going to be maintaining? What are the name of the 7 views? Starting one is going to be basic data 1 view. That's the first view. Basic data 1 view. Then second view, sales organization 1 view. Then we have sales organization 2 view, followed by sales general plan data. There's going to be another view. Then we have sales text, plan data storage 1, and accounting 1 view. So at the moment, we are going to be maintaining the values in this particular 7 views over here. Basic data 1, sales org 1, sales org 2, sales general plan data, sales text, plan data storage 1, and accounting 1 view. These are the 7 views in which we are going to be maintaining the values. Now, what all information we are going to be maintaining it is what we need to discuss it over here. Okay. And for most important thing, whatever the values you maintain in this 4 views, from sales org 1 to sales text, all these values will be stored in a separate table. So we have a table name called as MBKE, which stands for sales data. Okay, so all the values in this 4 views is going to be getting updated in MBKE table. So please remember the table name. And apart from this, we have 2 more tables, MARA table, which stands for general data, and MARC table, MARC, which stands for plant data. These are the another 2 tables where you need to work out. Are going to be another 2 tables where you need to work out. So please remember these particular tables over here. We have sales data, general data, and plant data over here. Okay, so MBKE stands for sales data, MARA stands for general data, and MARC stands for plant data over here. MARA stands for plant data. So these are the 3 tables at the moment. Apart from this, we have some more tables, but right now we are not interested in. So that's the reason I'm trying to skip up those things. We're not interested in working with other tables over here. So these are the 3 tables which you need to be having a knowledge on. So in interviews, they try to ask you name the tables in which our material information is going to be getting updated up. So these are the 3 tables. Now apart from these, now what values are going to be stored in which table is what we need to know it. What values will be stored in which table is what we need to know. Now I'm just trying to explain it. Like when we talk about this basic data 1 view, this is going to be holding general information related to the product. It will be holding general information related to the product over here. Now what is that general information? Now it will be holding material specifications, or let me try to create a material itself and try to show you. how to go by the path for creating your material record over here. So you need to get into easy access. There's a part of your easy access screen. Now get into this easy access, logistics. Now under logistics, get into material management. It's a part of your material management. So under this material management, material master. So get into material master over here. So if you get into this material master, material is what we need to work it out. Material. Okay. Now if you expand this material over here, create general. Work with this particular option, create general. So if you expand this create general, MM01 is going to be the transaction code. MM01 is going to be the transaction code for creating a material record. MM01. So if you double click on it, this is how the screen is going to be looking. And we try to basically call this one as an initial screen. So in this particular initial screen, we are going to be maintaining all the information required for creating a material. Now, what is that information? We need to maintain it over here. Like first thing, like whatever name you want to maintain for the product, you can update it. Whatever name you want to maintain it for the material, you can maintain it over here. So let's say I'm just trying to create this particular material. We're working with Samsung TV and mobiles. So here I'm just trying to call it as a TV product. Some LED TV is what I'm trying to maintain it. SLED TV, let's say. That's what I'm trying to maintain it. And select the industry sector. Under which industry you want this particular material need to be classified as. So select that industry sector over here. And we have a lot of industries maintained up. So I'm just trying to use one of the standards things over here. Mechanical, I'm just trying to maintain it as a mechanical. And then try to select the material type. And right now we are going to be working with finished product. So there's going to be the code use, FERT. So always make sure when you create a material, maintain it as FERT, because we always try to work out with finished product. We don't try to work out with different types of materials at the moment. So maintain it as an FERT. These are the three things you need to maintain. What is the name of the product, under which industry sector you're trying to classify it, and followed by material type. So maintain these values. Click on select views. So if you click on the select views, as I mentioned, you can see all 32 views are getting displayed up over here. And right now by default, there are some views which has been also selected. So if you want to deselect, you can click on this particular option, deselect all. Deselect all. So in which view you want to maintain the values, select that particular views itself. So let's say I'm trying to maintain the values under basic data 1, sales org 1, sales org 2, sales general plan data, sales text, plan data storage 1, and accounting 1. So these are the 7 views in which I want the values need to be maintained. I'm trying to select it. Okay, select it. Now once you select it, activate it as a default settings. Now why it need to be activated as a default settings? What happens to this? Now if you maintain it as what happens, like whenever you open MM01 or MM02 transaction codes, by default these views are going to be selected. By default these views are going to be selected. So no need, once again, you need to select all these views manually. By default, these views are going to be selected up. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just trying to activate it as a default settings. And then you can click on this org levels. Again, which organization unit you want this material need to be created. You can maintain that organizational unit information over here. You can maintain that organizational unit information. So click on it and maintain the values. What all information you need to maintain? Plant, storage location, sales stock, and distribution channel. So we have created our plant on the name of SAP1. So I'm trying to maintain that plant information, SAP1, storage location FN01, sales stock. So we have created it on the name of YSAM. So I'm maintaining it as a YSAM over here, and distribution channel. So I'm trying to create a material for distributors at the moment. So M6 is our distribution channel. So this is what I'm trying to maintain it. M6. I'm maintaining these values. I'm maintaining these values. And once you maintain it, you can see there is an option by the name default settings. I want these values need to be displayed by default once again. So I'm just trying to select it as a default settings. Oh, what is the storage location? S001, which is stored used for storing finished product. I'm trying to maintain it. So maintain these values over here. Activate as the default settings. And this how the screen is going to be looking. You can see all views are going to be getting displayed. So no need for the end user to maintain values in all the views. As I mentioned, only in selected views we need to update the data. Now, how to know what are the selected views in which we need to maintain the values? So if you see this icon getting displayed, that means we call it as a selected view. That means we call it as a selected view. So in this selected views only, we try to maintain the values. Only in this selected views, we are going to be maintaining the values. Okay, so if you see any view highlighted by this particular icon, we call it as a selected view. So you can skip data maintaining in basic data 2 or classification. You can ignore it. You can ignore it. Now see how to maintain the values. So right now under basic data 1 view over here, as I mentioned, in this particular view, we try to capture basic information related to the material. Now, what is that basic information? Now, basic values are nothing but how do you measure the product, how do you sell the product, weight of the product, such kind of values is what we try to maintain it. I'm not trying to maintain the values in all the fields, only the fields which is required for sales, I'm trying to maintain it. Like whatever name you want to maintain for the product, you can maintain that particular name over here. And then how do you measure your product? Basic unit of measure. That's what we need to maintain it. Basic unit of measure over here. Now, you can measure the product in kilograms or pieces by boxes. There are going to be different commercials maintained. You can select the commercials. There are different commercials maintained over here. So here I'm just trying to measure my product in pieces. For pieces, PC is going to be the code used. For pieces, PC is going to be the code used. So I'm trying to maintain it. I'm going to be measuring the product in pieces over here. And this particular field has been activated as a required entry. So I'm just trying to maintain some values. Otherwise, you can ignore this particular field. So right now, I'm just trying to maintain some value. In my system, it has been taken as a required entry. So I'm trying to maintain the information. Otherwise, you can ignore it. Now, next one. Under which division you're going to be classifying this material. Maintain that division information as well. Now, we have created a division. So I'm going to be classifying this material under TV division, Y4. So maintain that division information over here, Y4. And then we just come down. All these fields are not relevant for us. You can see there is a tab by the name dimensions. We have dimensions over here. So here we are going to be capturing gross weight, net weight of the product. So gross weight is nothing but weight of the material after packaging. This will be including your product weight plus packaging material weight. That's what you mean by this gross weight over here. Weight of the product after packaging. So I'm trying to maintain some information. Let's say after packaging, the weight is coming around 6 kilos. It's a weight unit. And then you can go for maintaining the net weight of the product. So net weight of the product, I'm just trying to maintain around 4 kilos. Gross weight, I'm trying to maintain it as 6 kilos. Net weight, 4 kilos. Always your net weight is going to be less than the gross weight. This is going to be only the product weight. This is going to be the total product weight after packaging. And there is a volume. This volume comes into the picture when you measure it in liters, not in pieces, in liters. And we have this particular option, size and dimensions. So if you want to maintain size and dimensions of the product also, you can update it. Length, width, height, all that information can be updated up if required. If required. Okay. So right now I'm trying to maintain only these three pieces of information. Basic unit of measure, division, gross weight, and net weight of the product. So maintain these values. That's it. No need to maintain any other values. These values are good enough. Maintain it. Click on enter and it will be taking up to the next selected view. Automatically system is going to be taking us. No need to do anything. There's our next selected view. So which is nothing but sales organization one view. Now in this sales organization one view, you can see by default this basic unit of measure and division information has been copied up from our previous view. Basic unit of measure and division information has been copied up from our previous view. Now we have a field by the name sales unit. So how we are going to be selling the product is what we need to maintain it. This is different and this is different. This is how you measure your product. This is how you are going to be selling your product. Sometimes you are going to be measuring the product in kilometers or liters or gallons, but you're going to be selling the product in bottles. Now, for example, beverage, Coke. So you're going to be manufacturing it in gallons, but when you sell it, you're going to be selling it in bottles. Two different things. They are not the same. So here I'm trying to maintain sales unit, how you're going to be selling the product. So here I'm trying to sell the product in boxes. I'm going to be selling the product in boxes. And once you click on enter, it will be asking us to maintain the conversion factor. So in one box, I'm trying to maintain one piece. So there are going to be concepts where in one box we can maintain 10 pieces as well. Now, for example, chocolates. So in one box we maintain 10 pieces or 20 pieces. So you can maintain that conversion factors. So right now I'm maintaining it. In one box we have one piece. Click on enter. Okay. These fields are not required, but these are two important fields. These are two important fields. X distribution chain and D chain specific status over here. Now, what is the use of this particular field? X distribution chain. This concept is nothing but you want to block the product for sale. Block the product. Block the product from sale. From all distribution channel. From all distribution channels, then we activate this particular field. If you want to block the sale from all distribution channel, then we activate this particular field. Now, for example, right now, how many distribution channels we have? So we have only two distribution channels, M5 and M6. Company had decided not to sell this product to any customers over here. company had decided not to sell this product to any customer, okay, then we can activate this particular field. So if you activate it, if a distributor or an online customer is trying to place an order, it will be getting blocked up. Okay, or sometimes what happens, if product is outdated and there is no demand for that particular product in the market, company will be stop selling it. So in that case also, we can take the help of this particular field. So if company is not interested in selling the product anymore, then we activate this X distribution chain. So here you can maintain the reason code. You can maintain the reason code over here. Let's say I'm trying to maintain the reason code sales not allowed, for example. And you can maintain the date from which date you're not going to be selling the product. Valid from date. You can maintain that date information. Let's say I'm not going to be selling the product from 1st of October. If any customer is trying to place an order for this material from 1st of October, no sales will be done. That's what we are trying to maintain it. This is what we are trying to maintain it over here. So in case if you want to block the product for sale, then this is how you're going to be activating it. From all distribution channels. Now, D-chain specific status over here. If you want to block the sale only for a particular distribution channel. If you want to block the sale for a particular distribution channel only, we are going to be working out with D-chain specific status over here. For example, you have two group of customers, M5 and M6. But company had decided not to sell this particular product to online customers. So this one is going to be getting blocked. If distributor is placing an order, we are going to be selling the product. If an online customer is trying to place an order, it will be getting blocked up. It will be getting blocked up over here. If you want to block the sale only for a particular distribution channel, then we take the help of D-chain specific status over here. We take the help of D-chain specific status. Now, right now you can see we have created this material for what? For a distributor. So if you activate this particular field, distributor cannot place an order for this particular material. Distributor cannot place an order for this particular material over here. Okay. And same thing, you can maintain the reason code. You can maintain the reason code over here and from which date. Date information can be specified up as well. Same process. So right now I'm not maintaining anything because we want this material need to be sold. And we need to specify plant information. From which plant you're going to be delivering the stock to the customer. We need to maintain that plant information over here. So we have assigned our plant to what? For the combination of sales org and distribution channel. So maintain that plant information. So SAP1 is our plant. SAP1 is our plant. So there's a plant from which product is going to be issued. And this field has been already copied up. We can ignore this one and we have cash discount. So on this particular product, do you want to offer any kind of cash discount or not? By default, this checkbox is active. By default, this checkbox is active. In case if you don't want to offer any kind of cash discount, you can leave this particular field as blank. You can leave this particular field as blank over here. If you want to offer cash discount, this checkbox should be activated. And we have this particular tab, conditions tab. Now this conditions tab, we don't touch it right now. Later we are going to be looking into it. This is going to be related to our pricing. So when we deal with the pricing concept, we can look how this condition tab is going to be working. Until then, we can ignore this one. Until then, we can ignore it. Conditions tab. Now followed by taxes, whether this material is going to be liable for taxes or not. So here I'm trying to maintain this material is going to be liable for taxes. So output tax. So I'm going to be collecting full tax amount from my customer. So for this particular product, whether this material is going to be liable for taxes or not, make sure you maintain this particular value. Maintain this particular value over here. And if you just come down, we have a tab by the name quantity stipulations. Now in this quantity stipulations, we have two fields: minimum order quantity, minimum delivery quantity over here. Minimum order quantity, minimum delivery quantity. Now minimum order quantity, you will be seeing some promotions going on in the market. So for this particular material, minimum order quantity should be 2, not less than 2. If customer place an order less than 2, not accept it. So minimum order quantity should be 2 or more than 2. If you want to maintain any kind of restrictions, then we can take the help of this particular field. In the same way, you can work with minimum delivery quantity. So if customer want a free delivery need to be received, so you can maintain that minimum delivery quantity as well. Let's say I'm just trying to maintain 5. So you can maintain some restrictions over here if required. Otherwise, blank. Otherwise, blank. So in case if a client is putting any kind of requirements, so you need to know where exactly you need to get in and you need to activate it. Basically, these values will be maintained by the end user. You need to train them where they need to go and what values need to be updated. You need to train them, so you need to know it. So maintain these values in this particular view. Sales organization 1 view. Sales unit, in case if you want to block the product for sale, what is the delivering plant? Whether on this particular material, do you want to offer any kind of cash discount or not? Whether this material is liable for taxes or not? What is the minimum order quantity? Minimum delivery quantity information. So maintain these values, click on enter, and this is our next selected view, which we call it as sales organization 2 view. We call it as sales organization 2 view. Now in this sales organization 2 view, this is going to be playing a big role when you start recording a transaction. When you start recording a transaction, item category groups. Now right now I'm just trying to give you a definition for this item category group. This is nothing but a parameter used for item category determination. It is nothing but a parameter used for item category determination. Now what you mean by this item category, how it works out, everything we are going to be discussing it later when we start recording some transactions. Okay, so whenever you try to create a finished product, for finished product code is used is going to be FART. It will be maintained as norm. If you're working with material, so this will be maintained as VERP itself, item category group. So based on your material type, item category groups are going to be updated up. Based on material type, item category groups are going to be updated up. Okay, so here at the moment we are trying to work out with a finished product. So I'm trying to maintain this item category group as now. There's a field what you need to observe it. And we have some more field: account assignment group, material pricing group, pricing for reference material, all these fields later. We have some SAFI integration concepts and pricing concepts. There we are going to be checking what values need to be maintained up over there. Okay, what values need to be maintained up over there. So at the moment, there's the only field we required, item category group. So maintain it, click on enter, and it will be taking us to the next selected view, which is going to be sales general plan data. It's going to be the next selected view, sales general plan data. Now under this sales general plan data, you can see basic unit of measure, gross weight, net weight, everything has been copied up. Everything has been copied up over here. Okay. So by default, this values has been copied up, but there is one important field by the name availability check over here. There's one important field by the name availability check. Now, by default, we are going to be maintaining it as 01, daily requirements. So whatever stock we required, we need to update it on daily basis to our inventory team as well as to production team to make it ready. So we have a concept for this by the name availability check and transfer of requirements. For that, this particular field is going to be playing a big role. For that particular concept, this particular field will be playing a big role. Okay. So make sure always you try to maintain this particular value as 01. On daily basis, whatever stock we require, we are going to be approaching them. 01. And we have two mandatory checkboxes under shipping tab. Now what is that? One, we call it as a transportation group. Now what is the mode of transportation you are going to be using it for delivering the stock? We need to maintain that information over here. So if you click on it, there are going to be different mode of transportation. So what is the mode of transportation used? You can maintain that information over here. So let's say I'm trying to use a truck. I'm trying to use a truck as my mode of transportation. For delivering the stocks, I'm going to be using truck. So I'm maintaining this one over here. Now, where do you use this transportation group? We have a concept for that. But this transportation group information is going to be used in our route determination. It's nothing but a parameter used for route determination. We don't call it as route, we call it as route. Route determination. Okay, so this is nothing but your departure point and the destination point. It is basically used to calculate what your distance, like how much distance the product need to travel. We use it for calculating your shipping charges. We use it for calculating the shipping charges. Okay, so there's going to be one field we need to maintain, route determination, transportation group information. Okay, so here I'm just trying to maintain one transportation group, and there is another field by the name loading group. We need to maintain this loading group information as well. So how do you load the product? How do you load the product? What is going to be the equipment used for loading the product? We need to update that values as well over here. Whether you're going to be loading the product manually or using some piece of equipment is what we need to maintain it over here. So here I'm just trying to maintain one loading group. Manually, I'm going to be loading the products. So I'm just trying to maintain it as 0003 manual method. Or if you want to take any kind of an equipment for loading, you can maintain it as well. And this one is also very important, loading group. Now, where do you maintain this loading group information? So this loading group is going to be a parameter used. There's nothing but a parameter used for shipping point determination. It's nothing but a parameter used for shipping point determination. Now, where this particular shipping point is going to be coming up. So once again, it is in our transaction data we are going to be looking after. So in our transaction data, we come to know all these things. Loading group, how to use this loading group and how to work out with this. So these are the values what you need to maintain it. Transportation group and the loading group information. Now once you maintain, that's it. No need to maintain any other values. These are going to be good enough for us. Availability check, transportation group and the loading group information. So maintain these values and move to our next selected view. That's it. No need to maintain any other values in this particular screen. Simply click on enter and move to our next selected view, which we call it as sales text over here. Now what we need to maintain in the sales text over here. Now what all information which is required for communication, you can update it. What all information which is required for communication, you can maintain it over here. Now I'm just trying to maintain renew the product. Renew the product online for extended warranty. I'm maintaining this information over here. Renew the product online for extended warranty. Or if whatever things you want to communicate about this particular material, this is a place where you can write it. Register the product through website. Whatever data you want to maintain, you can. I'm just trying to maintain some values. What all values you want to maintain, you can do it over here. You can do it. Now maintain all this information. And these values are going to be getting copied when you try to record a transaction. So in our order delivery document, you will be seeing this information getting copied up. Okay. Now maintain it. Click on enter and get into next selected view. So all these views you can ignore it. So this is our next selected view, which is going to be plan data storage 1. Plan data storage 1. Now in this plan data storage 1, we normally maintain information related to inventory management. We maintain information related to inventory. How do you store the product? And these values are going to be maintained by our team, not by SD. But we have one field which is required for SD. That is what we are trying to maintain, which we call it as storage conditions. So how do you store the product in the inventory? We require this particular value. How do you store the product in inventory? We require this particular value. For that reason, we are maintaining it. Storage conditions. So whether you're going to be storing the product at room temperature or in a refrigerator or any specific storage conditions, you can update it over here. So here I'm just trying to pick up this one. I'm just trying to maintain one storage condition. Now let's say if you want to maintain it as a refrigerator, maintain this one, and at what temperature you want to store that particular material, you can maintain that temperature as well over here. Temperature conditions. Temperature conditions can also be updated. Okay, so right now I'm just trying to maintain only this particular field. Storage conditions, how do you store the product? 01 is what I'm trying to maintain it. 01 is what I'm trying to maintain it. Standard storage. So we use this particular field for a concept called as storage location determination. Storage conditions. Nothing but a parameter used for storage location determination. Storage location determination. But there are a lot of values we use for different purposes. Okay, we have a lot of values maintained for different purpose over here. So there's the only field we require in this particular view, plan data storage one. Now once you maintain, click on enter and move to our next selected view, which is going to be accounting one view. This is related to the finance module. This is basically for valuation purpose. We are going to be maintaining the information for material valuation, for knowing the cost, for costing purpose also, we update some values over here. So this particular view, I try to explain it later in tomorrow's class because we have a lot of fields over here. Each field got its importance. Step by step, I try to explain all the fields functionalities. We create a material, then we will be looking into a concept called as material extension. So how to extend the material? We need to know that particular functionality as well. How to extend the material. Okay. So tomorrow class, we try to continue this particular topic. And I'm not trying to save this particular material at the moment. I'm just leaving as it is. So tomorrow we can maintain remaining information and we can save it.
Uh, Mr. Jairam,
Yep.
in basic data one, there
Hmm.
is one field, right? Initial screen. In initial screen, there is one field, sector. In industry sector, is there any
Hmm.
possibilities can we create, or we have to select the inbuilt one?
You can create your own industry sectors, but that is a part of your job role who will be doing it. So that's the
Okay,
reason we are just trying to use the one which is there in the system.
okay, thank you.
Okay. But if any particular industry is missing, you can sit with an consultant and they can create.
Okay, that's my doubt. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, no
Have a good
problem.
day.